everybody. The sun is just peeking up over the land. This is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World. Yesterday, well, for 2 days it's rained almost pretty much more on than off. And today we got some blue skies. So yesterday, not a lot of work happened outside. Actually, nothing at all happened here on the homestead. But let me show you something I got for a future plan and talk about some things going on. And this will be a brief video because yesterday was raining. I got a portable little miniature welder. It's strange having something so small, but I guess in this modern day, things are getting smaller and smaller. But I got a credit card and I decided that since our welder that I use all the time is now out of business, my favorite welding company is out of business, I'm going to have to become more self-sufficient. And our wires in our houses are too old and weak, and the circuit breakers are just too small. So I am not able to run a welder, or haven't been able to run a welder at home. So I got this because it says clearly it can be run with a generator. Now my plans are to try this out with a generator. This is a Forney Easy Weld, and says right on the box, or in the owner's manual, and I believe on the box, it can be run with a generator. And that was exactly why I got this, because it's not as high a duty cycle. It's a 30% duty cycle, which means I won't be able to weld a lot at a time without cooling down periods. But for spot fixes and small projects around here, of which there are always a lot, this should be very beneficial. Another thing, I prefer stick welding, and I wanted a stick welder. And so that's what I got. This is a TIG/stick welder, but it doesn't have the TIG, what do you call it? Ugh, my head. I need more caffeine. Anyway, it's a stick welder, and it's got the everything you need for that. And so that was what I wanted. So we'll see how it goes. And meanwhile, I'll show you a couple things I got to help me going here on the property. I got a little bracket from a small go-kart. That was the crate that it came in, and there's some good little scrap metal for me to practice on. And actually there's another piece. There's a bit of metal down in there. So that was some scrap metal I got for free. And any of you that know the metal prices right now, anytime you can get metal right now is a good thing. And this is some heavier, looks like, it's more than a 1/16 inch thick, maybe 1/8. I'll have to double check it, check its thickness, but it's pretty heavy. Metal pieces, they're coated, so they're rust-proofing, they're rust-proof, but there's some good rectangle tube steel I can practice with and build things with. That was, normally that was shelving units, but it's heavy, heavy duty steel. And this stuff costs, you pay per inch for this stuff right now. The metal prices are through the roof. So there's some stuff to practice on and refresh myself. I haven't done stick welding in a long time. I'm embarrassed to say how long, but it's been a long time. So I'll be doing some practicing and refresh myself on it. And then I got something I've been dreaming about for a while. This is heavy duty tube steel. This is probably $1,000. At least $500, as much as $1,000. I'd have to do the math. But that's tube steel. Much thicker, quite heavy. This is what a side-by-side was shipped in. You can see it's upside down where the wheels were. And this is heavy duty stuff. And a dream I've had, which I mentioned, last winter, almost a year ago, is to make a electric car. Now I have the motors and I have plenty of batteries, as you know. All I needed was the metal for the framing for my electric car. I've got plenty of metal here. There's more than enough for the car. I could almost make two. Sadly, they smashed it up a little bit in shipping. They bent a couple of the pieces, but you know, that's just a foot and a half a waste on there. Not the end of the world, but it does show how roughly these are treated in shipping, those side-by-side crates. So this is a really, really, really good find. People are selling these for $30 to $50 a piece, and this one was given to me for free. So I'm very pleased. A lot of good metal, a lot of money sitting there, and the future of my electric car. Now, if the welder had been here, I would have probably continued paying an insane price for welding, but now they're out of business and gone forever. That forces me to become more self-sufficient on the homestead. So I'm gonna do it. I figured that the price of that welder is equivalent to one small project that I would have paid for at the welding service. So I am going to save money on the first thing I do. So this is really, really cool. I don't know if I'll get to it yet this season because we're going into winter, but having the metal on hand, I'm going to have to put that somewhere and tarp it, keep it out of the weather. But having the metal, having a welder, and being able to fix things. For example, my very ugly log trailer is some of the ugliest welds. I'm embarrassed to show you. I didn't do this, but some of the ugliest welds I've ever seen. And so I figure I cannot do worse than that. So this is going to be my practice area here. And I'll be able to reinforce this and improve it and do a whole lot better than what it is now. And there's one of the projects I have right there already waiting for me. So guys, I'll be honest, I'm not so sure about these little inverter welders, but the reviews are good. And specifically this one, I've checked the reviews, and you can see them more and more popping up in the videos, people using them and saying they work. So we're going to give it a try. And this leads me a little bit further along the path to becoming self-sufficient. Being able to weld my own projects on my own property, but with a generator. That was my main drawback. I couldn't run without blowing a breaker. I couldn't run another welder here. That was a big, big problem here. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be interesting, so watch for videos on that later on. Not sure, I probably won't get to it today because throughout the handbook, through and through and through, do not weld when it's wet. Do not weld in the rain. Do not weld when you're sweating and when your wet clothes are wet or when the ground is wet and everything is wet and wet, wet, wet. Do not weld. Warning, warning, warning. And everything is wet. So that'll wait a little bit. Anyway, very simple video. New addition to the homestead. A little bit more self-sufficient. Please like this video. Subscribe if you haven't, because you never know what's coming to the homestead tomorrow. Check out Michigan Prospectors channel and Facebook page and website, michiganprospectors.com, for rock hounding, prospecting, and mining, and cool videos. And please join my Patreon page for cool little special video clips and unique giveaways. Talk to you all later.